achieved.
It's not good, guys. It's not good. Welcome to Studio Day, Heffrey Day Quarantine. Tyron Smith is done for the year. Mike McCarthy announced it. Jerry Jones was just talking about it on the Fan. Tyron Smith done for the year. He is having surgery on his neck. Jerry was talking about how it's nerves related and how they need to do it right now so that Tyron Smith can rehab and be ready for next year, which I got to be honest, that was a positive. Because when you start messing with backs and necks, the word retirement starts creeping into my head, especially when you've been in the league for a decade. It's bad, boys. It's bad. So, Tyron Dunsky, and you're in trouble. So, what I start thinking about now is Jon Snow when he pulls out his sword. Which battle was that? Was that the Battle of the Bastards? Or was that the one with the Night King? Where it's just him standing out there and he's got his sword drawn and the horde is oncoming. That's Dak now. Frederick's retired. Lyle Collins out for the year. Tyron Smith's out for the year. So what's the offensive line look like going forward? Your guess is as good as mine. Using context clues, I'll say you're going Brandon Knight at left tackle, Connor Williams at left guard, Tyler Biadasz at center, Zach Martin at right guard, and at right tackle, they will try. I don't think it'll be Terrence Steele. I'll guess Jordan Mills. Could be Greg Senat. And if you're not familiar with these names, don't worry about it because they'll probably try a bunch of different dudes. They are in bad shape on the offensive line. You could absolutely lose to the Giants. Hopefully you don't, but you could. And don't worry, I'll get to the super doom and gloom here in the mailbag in a minute about if this team needs to rebuild. Tyron's gone for the year. It's not good. Jerry today, at some point, I think it had to do with Tyron, but I was listening to him, and he started really meandering, and he started talking about the old Oregon Trail video game, I'm pretty sure, because he was talking about breaking down wagons and burning them for firewood and then floating a wagon across the Mississippi River. So, does that mean you're in a bad place when you start talking about the Oregon Trail game? Like, Cowboys have dysentery. They're dead. It's not good. It's not good when the best part of your team, in theory, is now the weakest link on your team. Well, D tackles, offensive line. This could be a long season, ladies and gentlemen, but this is what football's about. Overcoming adversity. Figure it out. Coach them up. Scheme it up. Good luck, Dak. Survive, baby. If you are in the mood for good news today, my buddy Brian Broadus yesterday said that he had heard from some folks that Leighton Vander Esch is close. He will not play this weekend, but do not be surprised if next week Leighton Vander Esch is back on the field. That can help your defense. And don't worry, I feel as weird as you do right now. Like I want to just keep saying on repeat, the offensive line is broke. The offensive line is broke. The offensive line is broke. This is bad. Our pets' heads are falling off, and Jerry's talking about the Oregon Trail. But there are other things to talk about. Getting Leighton Vander Esch back can help the defense. But, man, you're right. You haven't said anything because I record these. I'm not doing this live. But I want to go back. How many good starters do the Cowboys have right now with no Tyron and no LC? Cooper, Gallup, Lamb, good starters. Martin, good starter. Dak, Zeke. On defense, gosh, I don't even know if you'd give me Tank right now with him being banged up. Alden Smith. And then good starters, no, maybe. Like 5 or 6? Whew, boy. Last night before Tampa and Chicago played, I was just looking at their teams, their rosters, and how some of their guys are playing this year. And it's time to realize that you're not close. Because I'll be honest, I don't think Tampa or Chicago's close. Chicago's 4-1. They're not close. Tampa Bay's not close. But, boy, when you just go down the roster and you're like, how many good starters does each of these teams have? The answer, considerably more than the Cowboys. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. But Vander Esch is close. Tyron's gone. Pets' heads are falling off. Mailbag. From Ray-Ban. Jeff, honest question. Our offense hadn't been terrible. On D, we lost Malik Collins, Jeff Heath, Robert Quinn, Robert Jones, and have replaced them with Alden, Poe, no-name safety, and rookie Diggs. Should we really be this bad on defense, or is it time to let Nolan walk? Oh, that was Byron Jones, not Robert Jones. You just put Robert. Byron. Is it time to let Nolan walk? Historically, his defenses haven't been stellar. No, his last 3 years in Atlanta, his defenses were bad. His talent was bad, but his defenses were bad. And now his talent is bad and his defense is bad. So is it him? Is it the players? The answer is probably So did you replace Byron Jones? Absolutely not. Did you replace Robert Quinn? Yeah. Did you replace Jeff Heath? Nope. Malik Collins? Nope. Because McCoy got hurt. Poe brings you nothing. Everson Griffin's bringing you nothing. Trayvon Diggs is a rookie, but he's getting kind of tore up right now. But hopefully that gets better and better. Just rookie year for a corner can be tough. Yeah, you should probably be this bad on defense. They have bad players. They have good players. They decided they needed to pay people that weren't named Byron. That corner wasn't very important. So sometimes you get what you ask for. Chopping Broccoli says, don't you hate it when you try to kill a bug and you miss and it gets away because now it's seen your face? Never thought of it that way before. But yesterday I did. I caught a mosquito. It was because I leave my back door open so that the dogs can go to the bathroom because I don't want my dog to poop on the bed. And that's what he likes to do. And I caught him. And then I expected to see his dead carcass in my hand. But when I opened my hand, he flew away. It was tough. I'll find him again. MC Test Tube. Honestly, Jeff, who cares about Gregory or this team for 2020? I get it's your day job, but with Collins out all year and likely Smith too, honestly, who gives a bleep or has an expectation for this team anymore? As bad as the defense is, and it's historically bad, we have to start thinking about OT and OG with our first pick. O-line's getting old, expensive, and injured. Might be time to consider a total rebuild, in all honesty. Okay. I'll go here with you. I'm not saying this is my opinion, but if you wanted to, here's how that plays. I don't think you can do it the right way because this team, I still think, has enough offensive firepower and a bad enough division that you can't win 2 games. You're going to win at least 5 games, right? So if you're on total rebuild, here's how it looks. And it doesn't take much to talk me into tanking. I will start with this. Dak is very good. I don't want to give him up. I would much rather give him his long-term deal and figure the rest out because if you don't have a quarterback, life sucks. But if you wanted to rebuild, it would be because you looked at your roster and you said, boys, who's going to help us win right now? We want to win the Super Bowl. And the answer is like Gallup, Cooper, Lamb, Dak, Martin. That's kind of it. All right. That's not enough to win the Super Bowl. So how far away are we? Not 1 or 2 players. Probably 5 or 6 players away. How are we going to get 5 or 6 good players to add to this team when we're butting up against the cap already? We're holding $30 million in reserve to carry over just to make sure we can either tag or sign our quarterback next year. How are you going to build a contender with this roster when you're 5 or 6 pieces away? The easiest answer, I don't necessarily agree with it. The easiest answer is, well, we've got this cap space to tag Dak, then you trade him. Now, I have to look around the NFL and find a team that wants to trade for Dak and give him $40 million a year, which it depends. You got to play out this year and see who needs what at quarterback. But will that team exist? Of course. Yes, absolutely. What's your compensation? At least a first-round pick. If it's a team drafting towards the middle or back of the round, maybe it's a couple of first-round picks. And is that fair compensation for a really good NFL quarterback? Hell no. But we're doing a rebuilding exercise. So the reason it works is, let's say you can get a couple of first-round picks for Dak. So you tag him, you flip him for a couple of ones. How many games did you just win? We'll say 5 or 6 without your offensive line. So you're picking somewhere around the top 10 unless you win the division with 6 games, which this team could absolutely still win the division. But we're trying to do the rebuilding project here, so we'll pretend you didn't win the division. So you've got yourself a top 10 pick. You got a 1 from another team and a future 1 from them for a year later, or maybe it's a team that has 2 1s. You got 2 1s this year, whatever. So now, instead of having a good NFL quarterback on a long-term deal, I've got 3 first-round picks, and I saved that $40 million in cap space. That's how you hopefully get your 5 or 6 players that reopens your contending window in a year or 2, because what you do is you go, okay, between all these picks, will one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft class drop to us? Because you're not going to get Trevor Lawrence, so he's going to go first overall. So now we're talking about Justin Fields at Ohio State. We're talking about Trey Lance at North Dakota State. And you've got a new 5-year window of a cheap quarterback, and you pray to God that he's good at football, because the one you gave up is good at NFL football. So you pray to God that guy's good, that your pick is good enough to get one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the class. And now I've also got my $35 to $40 million, and I've got my next first-round pick, which you can use on the best player available, and you could use a player at offensive line, defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, corner, safety. You could use anything. So now you use that pick on one of those. You've got another one either this year or next year, depending on what team it's with, to get another one of those players. Use your other picks to try your best to find good players. And with your $35 to $40 million, you fill 2 or 3 more of those holes. And that's the question that front offices have to ask themselves is, 1, where do I think my quarterback is? If you think you have a top 5 quarterback in the league, I don't think it ever makes sense to move on from him, especially when he's got so many good years left. If you don't think you've got a top 5 quarterback in the league and you think Dak is the 11th or 12th best quarterback in the league, and you decide our best chance to win big is a different quarterback on a rookie window or on a rookie deal with these draft picks to restock the roster and that money to restock the roster while our quarterback is cheap for the next 5 years, yeah, they need to be talking about it. Do they need to come to that decision? I don't know. But you might need to discuss that. Check back in after the Giant game. See if they lose to the Giants. In Sports Guru in the mailbag, remember, you can always leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. I'll try to take care of you. Now it's must. We go get Ron Leary. I'd even consider signing him to a 3-year deal. He's 31 years and has some good years left. They'll probably play a week here and see, because they have so many guys that are likely not good at all. But Greg Senat, they took from the Browns practice squad, Jordan Mills, Brandon Knight's going to play 1 of your tackles. Terrence Steele, I don't want to see anymore. But they've got guys you can try at tackle, and once you see that that's not going to work, then you'll start really tinkering with the idea of Zach Martin playing tackle for the rest of the year, or Connor Williams maybe sliding out to tackle. And if you do that, go get Leary. Let's see what he's got. I don't know what he's got. I love Ron Leary. This offensive line was at its best when Ron Leary was the left guard. Dude was a monster. I don't know what he's got left, but I'm interested. If you're ready to move one of your starting guards to tackle, I'm totally interested in Ron Leary, and I'm interested in seeing Connor McGovern. Jerry said he's ready to play. They had to ask him about him because I've been talking forever about how we hear nothing about him. So I think Mike Bassick today asked Jerry Jones about it, and he was like, yeah, absolutely. He's ready to play. So we'll see. Tyron's gone. Al Collins is gone. Like Jarwin's gone. Frederick was already gone. Our pets' heads are falling off. We're floating wagons across the Mississippi. Good luck to us. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to go do my body by JoJo, get my butt right. I love you. Bye.